Kelly Ripa recently shared an emotional update about her husband, Mark Consuelos, and fans immediately felt the weight of her words. It wasn't dramatic, but it was deeply personal. In this quiet moment of honesty, Kelly reminded everyone that even the strongest couples face emotional days. What she shared touched hearts across America. In the world of American television, few couples feel as familiar and beloved as Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. For decades, viewers have watched Kelly light up their mornings with her warmth, humor, and authenticity, while Mark has built a career marked by dedication, discipline, and quiet strength. Together, they have represented not just a celebrity marriage, but a partnership grounded in respect, resilience, and shared values. That is why when Kelly Ripa recently shared an emotional update about Mark Consuelos, the reaction was immediate and heartfelt. Fans across the country paused, listened closely, and responded with an outpouring of concern, empathy, and love. It wasn't a dramatic announcement or a shocking revelation. Instead, it was something far more powerful. A sincere, vulnerable moment that reminded everyone that even the most admired public figures face private, emotional challenges. This update did not rely on sensational headlines or exaggerated claims. It resonated because it felt real, honest, human. And in that honesty, fans recognized their own lives, relationships, and moments of quiet struggle. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have shared much of their lives in the public sphere, yet they have always maintained a careful balance between openness and privacy. Their relationship began long before social media turned every personal moment into public content. Over the years, they have spoken candidly about marriage, parenting, career changes, and the evolving nature of long-term partnership. What has consistently stood out is their mutual respect. Kelly often speaks about Mark not just as her husband, but as her anchor, someone who grounds her during demanding professional schedules and life's unpredictable turns. Mark, in turn, has repeatedly expressed admiration for Kelly's work ethic, creativity, and emotional intelligence. Because of this transparency, fans feel connected to them in a way that goes beyond celebrity fascination. Viewers don't just watch them, they grow with them. They celebrate milestones and quietly support them during challenging times. The emotional update that stopped fans in their tracks. When Kelly shared her recent update about Mark, it wasn't framed as breaking news or framed with dramatic language. Instead, it was delivered with calm honesty and emotional clarity. Her words carried weight, not because of what was said explicitly, but because of what was felt between the lines. Kelly spoke thoughtfully, choosing each word with care. She acknowledged that life sometimes presents moments that are emotionally heavy, even when everything on the surface seems stable. She emphasized the importance of communication, patience, and presence, values she and Mark continue to prioritize in their relationship. What stood out most was her tone. There was no panic, no exaggeration, just a quiet vulnerability that signaled this was a meaningful moment for their family. The response from fans was swift and emotional. Social media platforms filled with messages of support, encouragement, and gratitude. Viewers expressed how much Kelly's honesty meant to them, especially in a culture that often pressures public figures to appear flawless. Many fans commented that they appreciated seeing a couple acknowledge emotional challenges without turning them into spectacle. Others shared personal stories, explaining how Kelly's words mirrored situations in their own lives, moments where strength and softness must exist side by side. This collective reaction revealed something important. Audiences today are drawn less to perfection and more to authenticity. Kelly's update resonated because it reflected real life, not curated highlight reels. The power of emotional transparency. Emotional transparency can be difficult, especially for someone whose career places them under constant public scrutiny. Yet, Kelly Ripa has long been admired for her willingness to speak openly, even when conversations are uncomfortable or deeply personal. In this update, she did not provide unnecessary details or invite speculation. Instead, she modeled a healthier approach, acknowledging emotional weight while maintaining boundaries. This approach reinforced trust with her audience and demonstrated that vulnerability does not require oversharing. For many viewers, this moment served as a reminder that emotional honesty can exist without drama, and strength does not mean silence. Mark Consuelos, Strength in Quiet Moments. Although the update came from Kelly, Mark Consuelos' presence was strongly felt throughout her words. Known for his composed demeanor and thoughtful perspective, Mark has often been described as steady and supportive, especially during demanding periods. Kelly's updates subtly highlighted this dynamic. She spoke not just as a wife sharing concern, but as a partner acknowledging shared responsibility, mutual understanding, and the importance of standing together during emotionally complex times. Fans noted this balance, praising both Kelly's openness and Mark's quiet strength. It reinforced the idea that support does not always require grand gestures. Sometimes it is simply about showing up and listening. A reflection of life beyond television. For years, Kelly Ripa has been a familiar presence in American households, associated with laughter, positivity, and routine. Morning television often serves as a comforting constant, and Kelly's energy has played a major role in that connection. This emotional update reminded viewers that life continues beyond the studio lights. Even those who bring joy to others must navigate moments of uncertainty and emotional reflection. Rather than diminishing her image, it strengthened it. Fans expressed appreciation for being trusted with a glimpse into a more reflective side of Kelly's life, one that acknowledges complexity without fear. One of the most notable aspects of the fan response was its tone. Instead of speculation or invasive questioning, the majority of reactions focused on empathy and respect. Messages emphasized well wishes, encouragement, and admiration for the couple's transparency. This response speaks to the relationship Kelly and Mark have built with their audience over time. By consistently communicating with sincerity, they have cultivated a community that values compassion over curiosity. In an era where celebrity news often leans toward exaggeration, this moment stood out as refreshingly grounded. Why this moment matters. This update matters not because it reveals dramatic change, but because it highlights something universally relatable. Emotional moments happen to everyone. Regardless of success, stability, or public recognition, life includes periods that require patience, reflection, and support. Kelly Ripa's willingness to acknowledge such a moment sends a powerful message, one that encourages emotional awareness without fear or shame. It reminds viewers that asking for understanding is not a sign of weakness, but of self-awareness. While the update carried emotional weight, it was not without hope. Kelly's words emphasized togetherness, gratitude, and resilience. She made it clear that facing emotional moments does not mean losing direction. It means adjusting with care. Fans took comfort in this message, seeing it as a reflection of the enduring bond between Kelly and Mark. Their relationship, shaped by years of shared experiences, continues to evolve with intention and respect. Beyond fan reactions, this update sparked wider conversations about emotional health, communication, and partnership. Viewers discussed the importance of acknowledging feelings, especially in long-term relationships where challenges can be subtle rather than dramatic. Kelly's update served as a reminder that emotional maintenance is an ongoing process, not a one-time effort. Relationships thrive when both partners remain attentive to each other's emotional landscapes. One of the most admirable aspects of this moment was how effectively Kelly balanced openness with discretion. She shared enough to be meaningful, yet withheld details that remained private and personal. This balance reinforced the idea that public figures can be honest without surrendering their boundaries. Fans responded positively, appreciating the trust placed in them without being invited to speculate. Why audiences continue to trust Kelly Ripa? Trust is built over time, and Kelly Ripa has earned it through consistency, authenticity, and empathy. This emotional update did not feel like a calculated message. It felt like a genuine moment of connection. Viewers trust Kelly because she speaks with intention. She doesn't overstate or underplay emotion. She acknowledges complexity while remaining grounded. This approach has sustained her relevance and respect across generations. As fans continue to send messages of support, one thing is clear. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos are not alone. They are surrounded by a community that values honesty, patience, and compassion. While the details of the emotional moment remain personal, the takeaway is universal. Life's quieter challenges deserve just as much care as its louder ones. Kelly Ripa's emotional update about Mark Consuelos was not heartbreaking because of tragedy, but because of its sincerity. It touched hearts by reflecting a truth many people recognize but rarely voice publicly. In sharing this moment, Kelly reminded audiences that emotional honesty is powerful, that partnership requires presence, and that even in difficult moments, connection can deepen rather than fade. As fans continue to support Kelly and Mark, this moment will likely be remembered not as a sad chapter, but as a meaningful reminder of the strength found in openness, love, and shared resilience. Moments like this remind us that behind every familiar face on television is a real life filled with emotions, responsibilities, and quiet challenges. Kelly Ripa's heartfelt update about Mark Consuelos wasn't meant to shock. It was meant to be honest, and in that honesty, many people found comfort. Their story isn't about headlines or speculation. It's about partnership, about showing up for one another when words are hard to find and emotions feel heavier than usual. Kelly and Mark have always stood as a reminder that strength doesn't mean having all the answers. It means facing life together, one moment at a time. As fans continue to send their love and support, this moment becomes something bigger than celebrity news. It becomes a shared human experience, one that encourages empathy, patience, and understanding in our own lives. If this story moved you, take a moment to reflect on the people who stand beside you during difficult days. Sometimes the quiet support matters the most. Thank you for watching. If you found this update meaningful, please like the video, share your thoughts respectfully in the comments, and subscribe for thoughtful, trusted updates you can rely on.